Empty shelves spark fights. Delivery trucks never arrive. Families ration the last cans in the cupboard. Desperation spreads faster than news can travel. Welcome to Prepper's Paradigm, your channel dedicated to practical prepping and disaster preparedness. I use a computer-generated voice because my own voice is hard to understand after an injury. Today's video looks at a question many people avoid. What happens when the food runs out? Not in theory, and not in Hollywood stories. This video walks through the real sequence of events when a community or a country loses access to reliable food supplies. Shelves empty, tempers rise, and daily life changes in ways that most people never expect. You will see how fast the situation shifts from normal shopping to full panic. You will hear what happens next as people run out of options. You will also learn how these events unfold in both cities and rural areas, because the chain of events hits each location in different ways. This video sets the stage for understanding the wider picture of food scarcity during any major disruption. The goal here focuses on awareness, not fear, and on giving you a clear view of the world outside your own pantry. Most people believe supermarkets hold weeks of stock. The truth looks very different. Stores operate on tight supply chains that move food in and out every single day. When those deliveries stop, shelves clear within hours. The first wave of shoppers takes the items they always buy. The second wave grabs whatever remains. The third wave faces long gaps and rising tension. Staff work hard to restock, yet they can only pull from the back rooms and the warehouse reserves. Those reserves usually cover 2 or 3 days at best. Once they go, nothing fills the space until new trucks arrive. If the disruption affects transport or distribution centers, those trucks never leave the yard. The earliest signs appear long before empty aisles. People start buying extra as soon as they sense trouble. They do it quietly at first. A few extra cans, more rice, a bigger load of bread and milk. That behavior spreads through a town very quickly. Every extra basket drains the supply chain faster. You see the first visible shortages by the end of day one. Bread, milk, fresh meat, bottled water, and baby formula vanish first. Toilet paper too, as we know from the COVID lockdowns. Canned goods and dried staples follow a short time later. Stores shorten hours or close early because staff cannot handle the crowds or the rising anger. Managers put limits on items, but limits only push people to visit more stores. This stage ends quickly. Once people realize the shelves stay empty, the panic buying shifts into something far more aggressive. This moves the situation into the next phase. The first week brings a sharp shift in how people act. Calm conversations in stores turn into arguments. People watch each other's carts and guard the last items on the shelves. Staff deal with constant pressure as shoppers grow more demanding and more frustrated. Price increases appear almost immediately. Stores raise prices to slow demand or to cover higher wholesale costs. That does nothing to ease tension. People feel the pressure and start buying items they never normally purchase. Anything with calories holds value. Flour, oats, dried beans, and rice become targets once the familiar staples disappear. Police receive more calls about disorder in shops and car parks. Fights break out over simple items. Some stores hire security, while others close early to avoid trouble. The calm, controlled environment people take for granted no longer exists. Households begin rationing long before the week ends. Parents skip meals so children can eat. Meals shrink in size. People stretch ingredients further. Neighbors who once shared small favors now avoid each other because every extra request threatens their own reserves. Delivery drivers feel unsafe, so fewer drivers take jobs. This slows distribution even more. Food banks empty in record time because demand triples. These charities cannot handle the surge, and that failure adds new desperation to an already strained community. This first week marks the point where frustration turns into fear. People realize the shortage will not end quickly, and their behavior shifts toward protection and survival. The next phase shows how fast that fear becomes action. Desperation grows fast once cupboards empty. People who stayed calm in the early days start taking bigger risks. Theft rises first in shops, then in car parks, and then in residential areas. Small stores become main targets because they lack strong security. Owners lock their doors and deal only through shutters or small windows to protect themselves. Break-ins spread across towns as people search for anything edible. Even homes that never kept much food become targets because outsiders assume everyone stores something. Families who own pets grow more protective because animals also need feeding and now face danger from hungry strangers. Warehouses and distribution centers attract larger groups. These places hold enough stock to feed towns, so people gather outside and wait for staff to open the gates. When gates stay shut, tempers rise quickly. Law enforcement tries to hold the line, yet officers also face shortages at home, and that pressure weakens morale. People begin moving farther from home in search of supplies. This burns energy they cannot spare and puts them in reach of others doing the same thing. Roads filled with desperate travelers who carry bags, carts, or pushchairs loaded with whatever they find. Encounters turn hostile because nobody wants to share what little they have. Communities fracture at this point. Neighbors who once trusted each other now lock doors, block windows, and stay silent. Every sound outside triggers fear. Rumors spread faster than facts, and those rumors drive people toward actions they never thought they would take. Towns that receive no new supply lines face a slide into violence and long-term hunger. Cities, suburbs, and rural areas all feel the strain in different ways, and that strain shapes the choices people make as the shortage deepens. Cities feel the impact first. High population density and limited storage space create a fast collapse of normal behavior. Apartments rarely hold more than a few days of food, and residents lack gardens or nearby farmland. Once shops empty, millions compete for the same scraps. Public transport slows as drivers face their own shortages, and that traps people inside the same crowded zones. Violence rises fast because every street corner holds hungry residents, many of whom cannot leave the area. High-rise buildings become pressure cookers. Noise travels through thin walls as families argue about food. Emergency services stretch thin, and response times drop. Water plants and power stations may still function for now, yet the stress of civil unrest forces staff to work under growing threat. Cities hold broad medical networks, but clinics lack supplies too. Rural areas face a slower decline, yet they feel a different kind of pressure. Fewer shops and longer distances limit options as soon as deliveries stop. Local farmers hold more knowledge and equipment, but they grow crops for markets, not for immediate neighborhood use. Livestock feed also becomes scarce, so farms guard their stock tightly. Theft targets barns and storage sheds as people travel farther from towns in search of anything edible. Small communities rely on trust, yet trust erodes when outside groups arrive. Strangers walk country lanes and knock on doors, and that behavior creates fear. Residents who once left their tools outside now hide everything. Roads that link these communities turn dangerous as hungry travelers roam between villages. Both locations suffer, but the path looks different. Cities face faster conflict and higher casualties. Rural areas face more targeted raids and long-term shortages with less outside help. These differences matter because they shape the decisions preppers make during any major disruption. Hunger sets in long before starvation. The first signs appear within days as people shift to smaller meals with fewer nutrients. Energy levels drop fast because bodies burn through stored carbohydrates first. Fatigue becomes normal, and basic tasks feel harder each day. Children suffer the most. Growing bodies need steady nutrition, and any drop in calories or vitamins hits them quickly. Irritability, headaches, and weakness spread through households. Parents feel constant stress as they try to stretch meals and protect the youngest members of the family. Adults lose strength and focus as protein runs out. Immune systems weaken, so minor illnesses hit harder. Cuts and scrapes become risks because the body needs proper nutrition to heal. People also face dehydration as bottled water vanishes and local supplies become unreliable. Even mild dehydration makes decision-making slower and increases the chance of accidents. Cooking methods change because fuels run out. Families boil less, bake less, and start eating cold foods that need little preparation. That shift brings new problems because uncooked foods often carry bacteria. Hygiene slips as energy runs low, and this raises the chance of sickness. Hospitals struggle because staff face the same shortages at home and cannot keep up with demand. Mental health declines as fast as physical health. Hunger drives anxiety, anger, and conflict inside homes. Sleep patterns break down, and people grow suspicious of neighbors. Every knock on the door triggers stress because nobody trusts the motives of strangers during food shortages. This stage becomes the point where many communities face collapse. Long-term hunger changes behavior, weakens defenses, and pushes people toward actions they would never take under normal conditions. Preppers already understand that food storage covers far more than hunger. It buys safety and time during periods when others move through panic and desperation. A well-built pantry stops you from joining the crowds, and that single advantage removes most of the early danger. Variety matters because long shortages break people before starvation does. Balanced stores keep energy high and immune systems strong. Supplies of salt, spices, fats, and protein also keep meals steady when the pressure builds outside. Security becomes more important as the shortage drags on. People notice patterns fast, so preppers keep a low profile and avoid drawing attention to their supplies. Quiet routines and steady discipline protect households better than any loud display of strength. Rotation pays off because stale food fails at the moment you need it most. A habit of using and replacing items builds confidence and gives you a clear picture of what you truly rely on. This habit also keeps waste low. Mindset drives everything. People with a plan think clearly while others freeze or act on fear. Preppers who stay calm, stay aware, and stay ready hold a far stronger position during any long disruption. This awareness allows you to see the wider picture. Food shortages do not start with chaos. They start with small signs that grow fast. Understanding the sequence of events helps you react early, protect your home, and keep your family fed while others scramble. Food shortages reveal how fast normal life can break down. A strong pantry, a calm mindset, and steady planning keep you ahead while others face panic and empty shelves. Prepping gives you choices when the world around you runs out of them. If you found value in this video, please give it a like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Visit our website, preppersparadigm.com, for more detailed articles. Thanks for watching Prepper's Paradigm. Stay ready and stay safe.